And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Stacks, lads. Joined, as always, with my guys, Mr. Aaron Kidd, live and direct from Virginia. And we got Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson. What's up, Ben? AK, how we doing tonight, fellas?
Jordan doing good, man. Just sweated out a winner with Missouri State. Unfortunately, missed a couple earlier, so always a good to avoid a catastrophe. How are you guys tonight?
Doing good, man. You were on a heater though for the past couple of days. You were on a scorching hot heater.
So tried to be a responsible gambler this year and track all my action. And proud to say through 23 days I am 71-57-1, so that's right at 55%. So obviously gave a couple back tonight with Western Carolina, Loyola, Maryland, but going to try to stay somewhere that or over the rest of the year. So
hell yeah,
responsible gambling. What's that? I don't know what that is.
sometimes you got to try to stay married.
There you go.
I always seem to be paying.
Oh,
there.
Yeah.
Are we there? Ben froze. AK, you're there.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
I'm going in and out.
Yeah. But yeah, responsible.
Had a good weekend, man. Me and my buddy, we all know Trig, friend of the show.
Yep.
Came down, stayed with me a couple days here in Virginia. We hit a bunch of games up and down I-40 in North Carolina on Saturday. Hit Richmond and St. Louis on Friday. It always feels good to get out, get a feel for some of these teams. Feel like you can always have a little bit more conviction or a little more beat on a team if you see them in person. And had a good time. So glad to be here with you guys today and hopefully talk about some winners.
Hell yeah, let's get some winners for sure.
Yep.
Before we hop into winners, though, we are being brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ. Make sure to download it. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to track your bets, like AK said. Be a responsible gambler. Track your bets. Become a better. Sharps app, any mobile device. And before we hop into the games, which obviously NFL Championship weekend, we got the AFC NFC Championship this weekend. We did have some news break earlier today. Jim Harbaugh is leaving Michigan and taking the Chargers job, which I did say was going to happen after when we were talking the Michigan game earlier, like 2 months ago. Felt it was the best job available. You have a franchise quarterback there, so, I mean, it just made a ton of fucking sense. And, there it is. Harbaugh to the Chargers. I want to get your guys' thoughts quickly on the move and kind of the fit there and how you guys foresee the Chargers season playing out this next year.
I mean, I think it's already a good move. I mean, he was able to get buy-in on a Michigan team who was struggling. He was able to get buy-in on when they were struggling, and he came in the first time into the NFL. So, he'll easily get that locker room, and just his football mind is going to be, I mean, light years better than what they had.
Oh, dude, you're better than what they had.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder, like, how much of this was influenced by Michigan? Like, was he really welcome back in Michigan after missing 6 games this year?
Yeah, but I mean, like, he won a national title, dude. They would have welcomed him back open arms. I do think that You know, him not getting an extension last year, I thought kind of opened the door. And like, he's always hinted at wanting to go back to the NFL. Like, he's always like thrown subtle, like, you know, things out there. So like, we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know when or what team. Like last year, there was a lot of speculation that like he was going to take the Raider job if they fired McDaniels. There was speculation that he was going to take some other jobs, the Bears job maybe. So I'm not overly surprised by this. You know, Harbaugh's a good coach. He's probably better fit for the NFL actually than he is college. Like he struggled a little bit to adapt back to college once he went to Michigan. Remember, Michigan had a couple terrible years, and there was even talk that maybe he was going to lose his job. 2020 season was atrocious, but he hired good assistant coaches, was able to get that program back on track. Obviously, wins a national title this year. So I think the hiring's awesome, dude. It's a tough division. Obviously, you have Mahomes in there. But you have a franchise quarterback, dude, and that's the most difficult thing to get in the NFL. So any chance you can to go and get a franchise quarterback, I think you got to take that job, and he got it. What do you think?
Yeah,
AK?
I mean, the biggest knock on him in Michigan wasn't that he wasn't putting together good teams or winning. He was winning. It was just he just couldn't win the big game. I mean, talking about a guy that lost 6 straight bowl games.
Yep.
You know, it's pretty tough to do. But I think it's a great hire, man. You know, me and my wife 4.5 years ago when we built our house, if I would have just not bet on the Chargers the last 4.5 years, I probably would have my house paid off by now. So Brandon Staley unfortunately cost me a lot of money over the last few years, just with some of the most bonehead decisions he would make, man. Like it was almost like he was trying to lose games. Just you know, I'll never forget it. I think it was either this year or last year against the Minnesota Vikings. They have a crazy comeback, going down, then tied the game up, just stopped Minnesota, gets the ball back. They're going to go down and score. And then they go 3 and out with like some boneheaded, like reverse, like pass call, and then decides to fake a punt on 4th down. No, I'm sorry. He goes for it on 4th and 1 on his own 19.
That was the Ravens game, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yep. Just completely hands him the game. So just boneheaded decisions, man. But I think Harbaugh is, I think, like you said, I think he's better fitted for the NFL. I mean, what he did with those 49ers teams, we were talking about a guy that went to 2 NFC Championship games and a Super Bowl, right? So I think it's a great hire. I think he'll be able to get the most out of Justin Herbert. I do think just hiring him doesn't necessarily make the Chargers that much better, though. They have got to build that offensive line, and they've got to figure out some salary cap problems with some defensive players. But, man, I think it's a good hire.
They also got to stay
I think
healthy.
I think it makes them instantly better because you don't have those boneheaded moves like you're talking about of going on, you know, 4th down at the 19, you know, trying to do some stupid trick play that never works. And, you know, because
when you have Justin Herbert at quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So frustrating, man. I'm really curious. Now, what I'm actually most excited for, just as maybe a fan's point of view, is I'm excited to see maybe what Justin Herbert really has to offer, right? What is his ceiling now?
Yeah.
Because we've talked about it for, 4 years now?
Yep.
We just haven't seen it.
And I think like there's a lot of talk this year that like, oh, you know, maybe Herbert isn't as good as we thought he was. You know, he did lose that playoff game to the Jags last year where they were up by like, what was it, 27 points in the second.
Oh yeah, I was on the Chargers in that game. So yeah, they were up 27-0 at halftime. Yep.
So I mean, this will answer a lot of questions, but I do think it's a good hire. And like, and then also on top of that, you know, there's been some rumors. I don't know how true they are, but there is some speculation that Andy Reid could retire at the end of the playoffs, which, you know, obviously that would be a huge loss for the Chiefs, right? I mean, still they got Mahomes still, but, you know, it does kind of open the door a little bit in that division. And then you got Antonio Pierce with no quarterback in Las Vegas, so they're kind of an afterthought. And then you got Sean Payton in Denver, and they don't have a quarterback. So those two, Vegas and Denver, we don't really know like what direction they're going in, to be honest. Like, well, we know the direction the Raiders are trying to win, even though they don't really have a roster to win. They think they do, but still a good division to be in, I suppose.
I do think that defense is capable of winning.
They don't have a quarterback.
I really
though,
do.
Okay. They don't have a quarterback though.
Not at all. No, A.N. O'Connell, I was high on him coming out of college. I loved him in college, kind of that underdog role, but he's got a massive step to take forward if
Yeah.
they're going to do anything.
Agreed. What do you think about the Harbaugh hiring, Nerve?
I think it's a home run. He's supposed to be bringing the defensive coordinator from Michigan with him too. So, and that dude was already coaching in the NFL. So we just got to see who we bring in as his OC. They do need a guard, maybe a right tackle, but so Harbaugh puts together an elite staff. So
He's probably gonna
that's the
bring
least
in
of the worries.
he's probably gonna bring in Roman to be his OC.
Who?
Greg Roman.
Nah, hell no. Greg Roman, nah.
That's his guy though,
yeah.
dude.
Nah.
Well, they got to drop some players too, aren't they? I read 27 million over cap.
Yeah, but you can like renegotiate with players and have them restructure and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. The NFL salary cap's like fake in my opinion.
Yeah, there's always ways around it. I don't know if they're like terribly over the cap, but they're gonna figure out a way to get below it and do what they got to do. If anything, they'll just convert what's the name base salary to a signing bonus, and that'll free up like 40 million in cap. That's what they do. So I just think once he puts his staff together, they're gonna figure out how they're gonna attack the draft and free agency and who they're gonna keep and who they're gonna get rid of. They probably might get. I don't see them. Maybe they get rid of one or the other, Joey Bosa or Khalil Mack. Maybe not.
I would. They got to get rid of Bosa, dude. That dude's hurt every year.
And that's what I was saying, Jordan. That's why I'm not like just buying into the fact that they're instantly better and they're instantly going to start winning football games. They're 30th out of 32 teams in cap space. They're projected to be almost 60 million over the cap this year. They got to figure out that roster first.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you can always, dude, look at what the Rams did for like 6 years, dude. They just kept restructuring deals,
Yeah.
and like it does end up hurting you down the long line. But as long as you have a quarterback, it doesn't really end up hurting you all that much. Like the Saints, I mean, dude, they've been restructuring contracts since like 2011, and like it hasn't really hurt them all that much. So there's always ways around in the NFL. But
plus your owner just got to be willing to be able to spend and pay those. Pay those fines, but he's making more money than he ever made. So if he wants to build some type of fan base, they got to win. And you hire a coach like Harbaugh to win. So,
Little tidbit. My Washington Commanders have by far the most amount of cap space coming into the season with some of the least amount of bid money. So we're ready to spend some money this offseason.
Did they officially hire Ben Johnson?
Not yet. They can't officially hire him until he's done with the season.
Oh, okay. But he's definitely the guy.
He's definitely the guy.
All right.
And there's a lot of rumors that like Washington's willing to of course they're willing to pay like what they've got to pay for offensive coordinator. There's a lot of rumors that what's the Texans offensive coordinator's name? Slowick, that it's an interview for a couple jobs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Washington wouldn't go after him. So I think it's either Ben Johnson.
Sam Howell might be packing his bags in.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've read though, Ben Johnson likes Sam Howell. So curious to see how it's all going to play out. Still sitting there with the second overall pick, the most amount of cap space, not that bad of dead money, and a pretty good new hire GM. So I think Washington's going to make some noise this offseason.
Yeah, and if they like Sam Howell, dude, they can trade that second pick for like extra picks and like, because I mean, dude, AK, you know better than all of us. You're a Commies fan. Like, dude, they got to rebuild that defense, dude.
Yep.
That defense.
Find a team that's gonna pay you 3 overall picks, 3 first-round picks.
I don't know if they'll get 3 first-round picks, but they'll definitely get like 2 firsts and a second, or 2 firsts and 2 seconds, which is great.
Call Lynch. He'll give you 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, Mr. Trey Lance sitting on the bench in Dallas, actually.
Yeah, for a third.
I heard he's gonna replace Dak soon, though.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hop into these games this weekend. We'll start with the AFC Championship. That's going to be the first game, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific on Sunday. We have the Kansas City Chiefs visiting the Baltimore Ravens. Currently, the Ravens are laying 3.5 pretty much everywhere. The total is 44.5. 44 is out there as well. What's your guys' thoughts on this game? Obviously, Baltimore is the number 1 team in the league. Chiefs, You know, this is their 6th straight AFC Championship, so we're very familiar with them in this situation. Although they're not at home, they're not at Arrowhead, which is new. But what do you guys think about this game? Here?
Go for it, guys, because I got a different way of looking at this. So,
Yeah, to be honest, Jordan, I haven't played anything in this game yet. There's obviously been some money hitting Baltimore. Surprisingly, I thought it'd be the opposite way around. I've seen some juiced 3.5s, 4s popped up for a while. I don't know, man. It's some. Let me say this: as great as Patty is, I appreciate his greatness. I honestly think Buffalo lost that game the other day more than Patty won it, right? Josh Allen. There's no reason why Josh Allen ran the ball for 6 yards in the second half after running the ball for 66 yards. You know that you remember like we were all in middle school and you always have like that high schooler come down like in the backyard and play and nobody could tackle him and he just was a man amongst boys. That was Josh Allen in the first half.
and then he
just
felt bad.
turned. Yeah, it was like he felt bad or just expected to lose. I don't know, man. I mean, the kid just can't beat Patty. But what happened to the Buffalo Bills was when they got the ball back with 8.5 minutes left, they said, "This is it. We're not flipping a coin. We're not going to play. This is it. So either we're winning or we're tying or that's that." So that was kind of what they did. I think it was more of them losing. If I was forced to play a hand, I'd probably look to play on the Ravens in some way, maybe a team total over. Some sort of side like that. But I honestly, at this point, don't love a lot in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat. Although I think the Chiefs won that game. I mean, they only punted the ball once, but
Yeah, and the Bills only punted the ball twice, so
Right.
yeah, but
that's not a substantial difference there.
I don't think either one of those teams lost the game. I just think the Chiefs won the game. But I'm like, dude, I've been saying Baltimore's the best team in the league pretty much all season. So like, I don't want to get involved with Kansas City. Although, like, I have said previously, like, whenever you have Patrick Mahomes as a dog, you almost have to like auto bet it. It's just he's undefeated as a dog. He hasn't lost, let alone not covered as a dog. You know what I mean? So I haven't bet anything. I haven't bet anything at all this weekend, to be honest.
Me
But
neither.
But I do lean Baltimore here. I don't know if I will bet this game. I might just be a spectator watching with my Mahomes jersey on, dude, at the end of the day.
Earthquake.
Earthquake.
Yeah, I just felt it. But yeah, you can't bet against Mahomes as a dog. More than likely, I'm pretty sure they're going to cover. Unless something just goes terribly wrong. Dolphins look the best they did all season last week.
That's true. That is true.
Not saying the Ravens can't stifle that because they do got a pretty damn good defense. It all depends on how effective Travis Kelce is and if they try to take the ball away from Kelce as much as they can and make those other wideouts beat them. But the wild card in this game is probably going to be Isaiah Pacheco because when it's a big game, he always shows up and shows out. So. And then Lamar, he's going to have a lot of pressure on him. This is probably going to be the most pressure he's ever been under and probably the biggest pressure game of his career. So we're going to see how he performs with that. But Mahomes has been there so many times. And if it's not Brady, he doesn't lose. So.
Or Burrow.
Burrow was his kryptonite for a while.
Yeah, he did lose to Burrow, but those games was back and forth. But there's no Burrow out there, so we'll see. Can LJ get it done? I think he can because overall his team is just that much better right now. Honestly, the defense is definitely better. The offense is better. And Mark Andrews might play. He has practice, so he might be coming back. That could be a big boost for him. I just see this one being a close one, man.
The other thing too I forgot to add is good point with the Kelce thing, Irv. Because Baltimore is actually like one of the best defenses against tight ends because Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith are two of the best linebackers at defending tight ends. So, I mean, you saw how they took out Dalton Schultz last week. I mean, they made him a non-factor basically in that game. So that is a big thing for Kansas City here because we've seen Kansas City, aside from Rashee Rice and Kelce, like they don't have, Valdez-Scantling actually had a good game last week. He actually finally caught the ball. Mm-hmm. But that was one fucking time, dude, out of, the whole season. So, dude, this is a tough game, bro. But one of these dogs this weekend is winning outright. So I don't know which one it's going to be. It very well could be Kansas City. I mean, obviously Mahomes has been there before, but I don't know, AK. I'm with you, bro. Like, I can't bet against this Baltimore team, man.
Okay, let's look at it a different way, because you've got two things coming into factor here. Is the officiating, and someone said that the head official 71 I cut out there, froze there. The head official is like 71% of his calls are against the road team, and that how he's been his whole career.
Who's the head official? Who's the head official?
I don't remember his name. But that was one of the things I saw. And then the Taylor Swift aspect of it.
Oh my God, here we go. Here we go, dude.
NFL wants to get those fans, and that will be the most watched Super Bowl.
So hold on. So you're telling me that the official that's officiating the game calls penalties against the road team?
No, yeah, I know, but aspects that you have to look at.
Well, I also heard something that like Taylor Swift has some other thing going on Super Bowl Sunday, and she would have to like fly a supersonic jet to Vegas to be able to be there in time for the game because she has like something else going on.
Hey, just to touch base on what Ben's talking about, he's right, but it's the other way around. Sean Smith's the referee, and road teams have not only won, they've won 56% of the time, but they have covered 68% of the time in games he's reffed in the playoffs.
Interesting. I don't know, dude. I can't put a ton into ref splits, dude. Because who are the road teams? Who are the home temes? Because I mean, there is penalty teams that commit more penalties.
Unless you're what's his last name that
Donaghy?
No, I'm talking about an NBA game
the
6.
NBA ref, yeah.
Oh, that's Donaghy.
Foster.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah. Foster, Scott Foster.
It's the guy that they always said that he was betting with, and he's the
extender.
He's ref 19. Yeah, he's ref 19 game 6s and sent it to game 7 every time.
The extender.
Yep.
Scott Foster.
Scott Foster's his name. I just thought about it.
Yeah.
Isn't he the one?
Nah, the betting one was Donaghy.
Yeah, but everybody, but everybody always thought Scott Foster and Donaghy, because Scott Foster went in front of the court, and Scott Foster and Donaghy talked before every single game for at least 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was like even Donaghy wrote like in his book that Scott Foster is like the guy they call when they need a series extended. The NBA, that is.
Wait, so which one of them ref game 6 of the Lakers and Kings?
Donaghy and Scott Foster together. Yep. I'll never forget that game, man. I love those Kings teams. And remember the Lakers shot like 32 free throws in the fourth quarter or something crazy?
28.
It was
28, that's it.
We made 25.
Yep, that's right.
But then they missed 20 free throws in game 7. So
Who's the one that hates Chris Paul?
That's Scott Foster.
Scott Foster.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yep. The thing that's interesting, we don't need to go on a tangent on this. I'm sorry to bring it up, but so the FBI, like I've done a lot of research over that. Like I've been very involved with that over the years. And so it was like a 600-page report the FBI did. They basically went through every NBA game from 2003 to 2007, not even ones that Donaghy or Foster ref, just every game in general. And basically what they, came up with was you can't fix or throw a game in professional basketball or professional sports at all for that matter, but you can shave points.
Yeah, I mean it would be extremely difficult to like completely fix a game unless players were on it and et cetera. Like you could definitely shave points. So like if you want an over, you could call more fouls.
Yeah, look at Boston College with your boy Henry Hill and Jimmy Burke.
Yeah, but they were paying players. Like NBA players make too much money, dude. You can't.
What was the other dude's name?
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like the 80s. That was the 80s.
80s. What am I thinking about the 90s? It was a kid out west, wasn't it?
Yeah, the kid from ASU.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but yeah, he got paid like $50,000 to shave points.
Yep. And like it was crazy. Like so, Donahue, and all he was doing was using information, just like how we bet information. That's all he was doing. So like, say a point of emphasis was Allen Iverson had just got traded to the Nuggets. And if you guys remember, he exploded on Scott Foster the night before because actually it was a good call. He goes insane on him. And we all know Iverson, who's one of my favorite basketball players of all time. He pawned the ball every yes, sir. He pawned the ball every time. And in the first half of the next game, David Stern basically said, you guys gotta get AI in check. They called 9 pawns on him in the first half of the next game.
And like 15 for the whole game.
Yep. And all Donahue did was take I think it was the New Jersey Nets. He took the Nets plus the points.
Yeah, I mean that's, insider information. That's good stuff, but
isn't that wild? Like I just wish we could get one of those.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I mean, dude, there's games on now.
Imagine if Jordan point shaved, how much money he'd be worth.
But I mean, there's no point in them doing it though because they make so much money and they can't go make a bet. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna be like, oh, Michael Jordan's betting on his own game. Obviously, it's gonna raise a red flag.
You know who did that, right?
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. Hey, but you know what his famous line was? He never bet against his team. Yeah, he never bet against them. He only bet for him. Yep.
That's the funny thing too about that ASU kid. He did bet on his team one of the games, and they fucking got blown out.
Or that dumbass punter from Iowa State, or Iowa, whoever it was.
Oh yeah, Jesus. All right, but back to this game. So, like, I understand the ref trends and stuff. It's just hard to put a ton into it, dude. Especially because like the general public knows all this.
Yeah,
So it's like in the line, and if your entire handicap's like, oh, I'm gonna take KC because this ref loves road teams. I mean, that should be part of it, sure, but I don't know about using all of it. The Taylor Swift thing though, Ben, that shit's out there, dude. That shit's way out there. That's way left.
Had to throw the conspiracy theory out there, but it does have a little bit of truth in it that would be the most watched Super Bowl if she was there because of all her fucking Swifties. So
I will say though, I know a lot of us have, but we've said the 49ers and the Ravens are the 2 best teams in football. I mean, I know, I think me and Jordan said it before the season started. So it's hard to go against that now.
Yeah, but I know, dude, one of these dogs is winning on Sunday. It just happens every year.
We all know who you want to win.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Hear him roar.
He wants both dogs to win.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would love Mahomes in a Super Bowl again, dude. Like that'd be cool, but I just don't know. I don't know if that Baltimore team is that's a very, very good team, man. That's the most well-rounded team in the NFL, hands down.
Has anybody seen a hypothetical line for 49ers Ravens in the Super Bowl? What is it, like 49ers minus 2.5?
No, it was a pick at Circa.
That was a pick. Okay, there you go.
It was a pick,
really?
And then Ravens Lions would be minus 4.5 Ravens, and then Niners Chiefs was minus 3.5 Niners.
Yeah, it sounds right.
They put up. I think they still have all the lines up actually, like hypothetically.
I just haven't took the time to look.
I only know what it was on Sunday because Benson tweeted them out. I have no idea what it is.
As we're on the pod here, Points Bet and Bet Rivers both went to +4 on the Chiefs.
Wow. I feel like you almost have to take it at 4, dude. That seems like too much.
It's tough, man. That's a tough game to handicap. And like I was talking about this earlier, it's just I don't think there is a right handicap, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, what about team totals? You got Kansas
City.
I
mean, if you want to attack, to be honest, probably the sharp way to bet it is the Ravens team total over.
And that's 24.
Yeah, that's probably right.
But I mean,
Kansas City is 20.5.
I could also see this being a low scoring game too.
Yeah, where Baltimore just kind of grinds it out. But I think the thing is, I think the Chiefs can. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of conviction on it, man. I honestly may just watch it as a spectator.
Yep. I'm the same
Yeah,
way.
AK not bet this game because if he bets one way and it goes the other way, somebody's state is gonna have to have a all points bulletin out for him.
Yep, I might have to buy a new house. And hopefully Jim Harbaugh pays me back some money that the Chargers owe me.
Oh man! All right, let's move on to the Lions and Niners, the NFC Championship. This game is being played in Santa Clara, California. Weather's actually supposed to be nice, I read.
Mm-hmm.
This game's going to be at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Currently, the Niners -7 basically everywhere. This game's at 7. Opened at 7, got bet down to like 6.5, got bet back up to 7. Totals at 50.5. Ben, you're the Niners fan. Let's hear why you're taking the Niners and why you're going to be disappointed on Sunday night.
I don't know if I'm going to take my Niners -7. I think 7 is a lot of points there. But I do think the Niners are going to be winning this game. I don't think they come out and put 2 duds in a row. I think they got lucky last week to, get by when they, laid an egg for the first 3 quarters. But I think they're gonna come out a little bit stronger here. And I just Detroit has had 2 good games. Can you string it together for a third? I don't know.
2 good games, brother. They won their division. They had a lot of good games.
You just froze. Say that again.
I said they won their division. They had a lot of good games, Ben.
Well, yeah, I know, but 2 good games in a row. I mean, I don't put a lot of faith in that in week 18. 19 loss to Dallas when we see what Dallas did. Then week before that was Minnesota again, where they only won by 6.
They should have won that Dallas game.
Yeah.
We all know they should have won that Dallas game.
Yeah.
Well, to kind of go off of what Ben was talking about, kind of add to his point, I don't want to necessarily be on the other side when the 49ers figure it out, right? I know that for sure, because you're still talking about a team that, I know injury to the safety. I know Debo's a little banged up, but you're still talking about who I believe came into the season believing and still believe is the best team in pro football. And I certainly don't want to be on the other side when they figure it out. Once again, another game I haven't bet. I feel like if you didn't bet the 49ers at 6.5, you can't bet them at 7 now, right? If it ticks back down, I'll probably end up on the 49ers just because I do think they figure it out. Hey, listen, I was probably one of the non-believers in the world, all 3 of us, that didn't believe in this Lions team coming in the season. I actually bet the Packers to win the division. Looking back at it, hindsight 2020, I wish I just would have bet the Packers to make the playoffs because it was still a nice plus money bet. I was really high on the Packers coming into the season. But, hey, the Lions have impressed me, man. I just feel like that defense is going to get torched at some point. We saw Baker have a pretty good game against them. We saw the Rams kind of, let's face it, that was a false result. The Rams had 4 trips into the red zone, right, and couldn't punch it in for 1 touchdown then on that last 4 stretches in the red zone. So I feel like the 49ers will capitalize off of that and punch it in. So I'll probably end up on the 49ers, and the squares teaser of all time will probably hit this weekend, especially if the Chiefs go to 4.5, right? Chiefs plus 10.5, and you pick tease it down to 49ers to a pick will probably hit. So
I don't know. I don't know, man. One of these dogs went outright. I know that.
But I think you got to put it a little bit into what Ragnow is questionable, but I mean, he is not going to be strong with a sprained knee. And then you've got Jonah Jackson, who went under the knife. He had minor meniscus tear and isn't expected to play.
Sam Laporta's out too.
Is he officially out? Nah, I think he's playing. He played last week.
Yeah, he played. He's questionable for today.
I think he's gonna play. I think that brace is getting smaller and smaller by the week, so he'll probably have more impact.
Yeah,
Laporta didn't take part in Wednesday's walkthrough.
Yeah,
he hasn't been. He only been practicing. I think Tuesday.
Yeah, M Live is the place that I get. They still haven't listed as out, but they're saying that's why they signed Zach Ertz.
I think he's playing. He played last week. He made some catches last week. I think the one thing here, dude, is the Niners have not been good against the rush for the last like 6 weeks, and that's what concerns me the most because the Niners haven't been good against the rush, and the Lions are actually good against the rush. They only allow 3.8 yards per rush. The Niners allow almost 4.5 yards per rush. The one thing that does concern me in this game is that the Lions, I feel like, they can control the clock and keep the Niners offense off the field by running the football. And they have 2 dynamic running backs in Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, and they can open a lot of things up. Plus, the Niners secondary fucking sucks, dude. Like, that secondary is so piss poor, dude, that I think
they're banged up, right?
The play action is going to open up, and it's going to leave the Niners.
Yeah, but we all know
vulnerable.
once you get pressure on Goff, he ain't the same quarterback.
Sure, but that's why you have to run the ball. You have to run the ball. If they can't,
they got to throw the ball. They can't run the ball 55 times and win the game.
Yeah, but if you run the ball and establish the run, then you get the play action. That's when Jeff Goff or Jared Goff is good. You know.
Yeah, but that's
where
a
he
two-way
thrives.
street though. Because if they come out and they can't run the ball, what's gonna happen?
But the
Especially
Lions
with
have run
two
the ball
injured.
against everybody. There's not one team
Especially
that's
with
been
two
able to
injured
stop.
Yeah,
them.
but they do have a tendency to go away from the run too. So
But I don't know. When they're up, they don't.
Defensively, they're not good
exactly. The
against
keyword
pass, too.
they got to be up.
Yeah, but
Are they
Ben,
gonna-
they're not good against the pass, but the Niners' entire offense revolves around play action. So they got to get the run established, dude. They don't come out just gunslinging and throwing the ball. That's not who they are.
Yeah, but they have that option.
No, they don't. Their entire offense is based off running the football.
Yeah, but
If
have
they
that
can't run the
option.
football, it's gonna be an issue for them. I'm telling you right now, if you look at all their losses, Cleveland Browns, they couldn't run the ball. Minnesota Vikings couldn't run the ball. Who else did they lose to? The Cincinnati Bengals
Ravens.
couldn't run the ball. Ravens couldn't run the
Who
ball.
wasn't in that game? Not the Ravens game, but the other two.
Debo, and he might not be in this
CMC.
game either. Nah, CMC played in those games.
CMC
He
didn't
left
play in
he
game.
left the Browns game early, but I mean they couldn't even run the ball when he was in the game.
And he didn't play the next game.
I thought he played the Vikings game. Regardless,
Mm-hmm.
sorry that you lost to the Vikings. That team fucking sucks. But the Ravens and is a big point in the Bengals. If the Niners can't run the ball, I mean we've seen this. This isn't new, dude. This is Kyle Shanahan. Like if they can't run the ball, they're not as effective passing the football. And I think that's a huge problem. And I think the Lions being able to run the football can absolutely control the clock. 7 is way too many points. I haven't played this, but I'll probably get to the window with the Lions. I'll probably take a money line too. Man, I just
Hey, Jordan, let me tell you one more thing though, and this is basically the end of my handicap because, like I said, I didn't play this game either. Do you know what the Lions' defense has struggled with this year? You mentioned they're pretty good against the run.
rushing the passer.
You mentioned a lot of, and tight ends, right? So the the Detroit Lions have allowed almost 1,400 yards to tight ends through the air this year, right? So I tell you who I think is the X factor, especially with Debo being gone, or if he's out or banged up or not 100%, they got to set up the run and they got to get George Kittle going.
Yep.
And if he can get going, it might be a long night for the Lions because the Lions are just susceptible to getting torched by tight ends. Just to name a few, the Falcons tight end that everyone's always been struggling. If you play fantasy football, torched him for 11 catches, 88 yards.
Fucking Pitts.
God
damn it.
And so anyways, that's kind of who I think would be an X factor. If George Kittle has a big day, it might be a long day for the Detroit Lions defense.
Yeah, I mean they've had long days too. You know what I mean? Like their defense isn't, like I said, they don't rush the passer well, but the thing they do well is they do stop the pass. They do stop the rush, and that's what the Niners like to do. So I think it's a little bit different than a lot of other offenses. So I mean we'll see, dude. I think that obviously the Niners are one of the most talented teams, but I do think that defense is definitely not as good as it once was this year.
No, I agree.
Well, they
I
are
agree.
missing an all-pro safety, so that definitely affects their.
They're
back
missing a
end.
lot, dude. They're
Yeah.
missing both their starting corners, two safeties, I think. But that's
Yeah,
part of the game.
yeah.
Oh,
Basically,
Gibson-
their entire
Secondary.
defensive backfield's been banged up.
Damn, Gibson is out too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, he's been banged up.
and then they lost Jared. What's his name? Jared. Buddy, the dude that used to play for the Chargers, dude, play cornerback. Jared. Last name starts with a V.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you're talking about Jason Verrett.
Jason Verrett.
Jason Verrett, yeah.
Yeah, but
not
he's
Jay.
always fucking
Yeah,
hurt.
but man, they gotta put Lenore at the other cornerback because 20. I'm sorry, man.
But
Unless he
Lenore was
just-
pretty bad too.
Lenore got better as the season went on.
But he
You're
wasn't- he
talking
ain't-
about
He's not as bad
Embry.
as 20.
Ambry Thomas.
Yeah, them 2 pass interferences was terrible.
Those were fucking horrible.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good game, man.
Well, hopefully he can bounce back, but we'll see.
But I don't think the Niners are blowing them out.
Yeah, it could end up being a shootout, or it could be a Niners could win by a touchdown, maybe late. Only thing the Lions though, man, if they can't turn the ball over, because if they turn the ball over, it's gonna get ugly.
Yep, that's true. That's why if it was raining, dude, I would have slammed the under in this game because neither quarterback can fucking throw in the rain. But if it's gonna be a nice weather day, I mean, you might look to the over. To be honest, this game might.
Then you got to factor in CMC running the ball because we know he gonna make plays.
No brain, by the way.
I wonder why they don't use him out the backfield as much anymore.
I mean, they're gonna have to if there's no Debo though.
That's what I was going to say. They haven't had to.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting.
What's the backup running back for 49ers? Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm not a prop guy, but I bet a sharp play would be Elijah Mitchell over rushing yards because it's probably like 11.5.
Yeah.
See them trying to run the ball some, control the clock here, spread CMC out too. So that's probably a sharp prop play.
Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs too.
I like Jahmyr Gibbs. Yep, I like Gibbs a lot. You know, it was so funny. This isn't handicapping, but just talking sports in general. They got trash for their picks this year. All 3 of them they've just knocked out of the park. The first ones, Sam Laporta, the linebacker, and Jahmyr Gibbs. You know, it's kind of like gambling. If you feel like you have conviction on a play, don't worry about what anybody else says. Just play it. Follow your conviction. The Lions did that, man, and they're in the NFC Championship game. So shout out to them, man. It's been a hell of a year. Dan Campbell, I maybe didn't believe in him. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I was kind of like looking to fade them this year. That's why I played the Packers.
Yep.
You know, we can pat ourselves on the back, Jordan. Me and you probably we were all over the Packers figuring it out this year, and Jordan loved figuring it out. But hey, shout out to Dan Campbell, man. They've done a hell of a job, but I think it ends this week.
It's crazy too that everyone shit on that Jahmyr Gibbs pick, and he was better than Bijan Robinson this year.
Yep.
Oh, it wasn't even close.
Well, yeah, but if you put Bijan Robinson on Detroit, you wonder. You put Bijan Robinson on a team that actually fucking played him. You wonder where it would be.
We don't know the intricacies of what's going on.
Very
Like, there could be a reason
we can't
why.
say the industries. They just had a dog shit head coach, a dog shit OC, because it ain't no way in hell. When Bijan did play and they did give him the ball, he was looking like a damn good running back. So
I mean, he had moments, but there was also times where he
Drake,
got the ball and
Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, it's all on Arthur Smith. That's why his ass is packed up.
Hey, Jordan, it's funny, man. Metallic in overtime, our friends at some offshore skins start hanging 4 as I announced about 15 or 20 minutes ago. And as I've got the Wager Talk live odds screen up, I see Circa and South Point and Superbook all just moved to 4.
Jesus. Yeah, that's a game I don't want no part of, dude.
Yeah, honestly, I really don't. But like I said, my super square teaser, that I'm probably not going to play. I'm not really a teaser guy. Probably does hit. I know for bookmakers, they got torched on teasers this past weekend with the Chiefs and Bills covering each way. So it doesn't matter how you had them teased. They covered each way. Both overs hit without even teasing them. But if you teased both unders up, then you hit them. So both totals, basically all totals cashed each way. The only one that didn't hit was Texans, or if you had the 49ers at a bad number, didn't. But man, if you had the Bucks, the Lions teased into anything, they cashed for you.
Incredible. That's why I think this week one of these dogs went out, right?
Yeah, it does feel like there's a correction coming, right?
Yep. It always goes that way too. Because everyone's gonna be money line parlaying the fucking Ravens and Niners.
Yep. And everyone's gonna tease
Niners down this one.
Yeah, or tease. Now, I was going to even say everyone's going to tease freaking the Chiefs up to, especially if it moves to 4.5, which it looks like it's on the way to. They're going to tease it to 10.5. So,
Yep. And then tease Niners down to 1.
yep.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out, man. We'll see how it all plays out. All right, so I know me and AK definitely know the best bet on football. We're not there yet.
My best bet is to tell you, if you don't have conviction on something, you don't have somebody that has a ton of conviction that you trust, it's okay to lay off. Sometimes those are wins.
Yes, agreed. Ben and Irv, do you guys have any best bets this week?
Nah, I don't have a best bet. I just got 2 leans. Honestly, if the weather's not a factor, I think both these games go over. Honestly,
Yeah. And that was going to be my bet was San Francisco, Detroit over that 50.5. Opened at 51.5, has been bet down, so you get that extra point. And both of these offenses have firepower. Both of these defenses have issues, so I think you can look at the over there.
Feels like a game where everyone thinks it's gonna go over, and it fucking total's gonna be like 24.
Nah,
It's like that Bucks and God, I can't remember who they were. Maybe Bucks and Rams when the game ended like 11-6.
Oh yeah, that was in like 2000. The fucking greatest show on turf, dude.
Oh, the NFC Championship game? Yeah, that was terrible.
That was the Birdie Manuel game, if anybody remembers.
None was worse than that Super Bowl, though. The over-under for that Super Bowl was in the 52. The final score was 10-3.
That's right. Yes, you're right. Yep.
Hold on, which Super Bowl?
The Rams and the Patriots.
The one in
2000. No.
Now we're talking.
So that Super Bowl was excruciating to watch with Jared Goff, but that the Super Bowl we're talking about is the Rams go on to lose to Tom Brady, and Tom Brady was born.
No. That was the year they. I think wasn't that the year they beat? Oh no, you're right. That was the year they lost to the Patriots. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they won it in '99, right?
That was 2001.
That was
2000.
That was the last year, the greatest show on turf. 0-1, Brady beats them, and they all break up. Kurt Warner leaves, goes to New York Giants, I believe. Yep. And then he, of course, goes on the crazy run with the Cardinals later in his career. Pretty sure Kurt Warner went and backed up Eli Manning for a year.
Yep, he did. And then he went to go have a Hall of Fame career with the Cardinals.
Yeah, because in '99 is when they beat the Titans. What is it? What do they call it? The great when
Marlon Byrd
gets tackled a yard short.
Bird.
Mike Jones was linebacker for the Rams, and
tackled
Kevin Dyson.
Kevin Dyson.
Yeah, it was Dyson.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, that was crazy. 1 yard
That
short.
was great. It was a great Super Bowl. Actually, we could go down a rabbit hole here, but the game we're talking about, do you remember how the Titans got to the Super Bowl? Rest in peace, Frank Wycheck. He just passed away, but that was the
Miracle.
What is it?
The
Music City Miracle.
Music City Miracle.
Yep.
Yep.
Even though it was a forward pass.
Yeah,
It was a forward pass,
but no replay back then, so it didn't even matter.
And it was incredible. Like I remember, like being like 9 years old and watching that game with my dad and like wanting the Titans. Wanting the Titans to win. And the Bills, like that was the game that Doug Flutie was like supposed to start, and he's like played well for the Bills. And I'm pretty sure they start Rob Johnson. It was like a big controversy. Rob Johnson leads them down. They kick a field goal, go up by 3. And like I remember, like I was like 9 and like couldn't understand like it's pretty much how I still am now at 34. I can't really take losses very well, so I like stomped upstairs like in my room, and I just remember like coming downstairs and like peeking around the corner, like there's no way a miracle happens, and then watching that happen. So
that was crazy.
I started trashing houses at young ages.
That game was wild. Oh man, nothing as bad as that Raiders AFC Championship when the Ravens fucking dominated the Raiders, and they had that Shannon Sharp like 90-yard touchdown that fucking blew the game like wide open.
Yep.
Well, what's the name?
Or poor Raiders, the Tuck rule, right, Irv?
Oh yeah, dude, holy shit.
Man, my dad was so motherfucking mad that game. He said we ain't winning shit till Al Davis die.
That wasn't Al Davis's fault though.
I know, but I'm saying, remember he sued the league and got all that money. So
yeah.
I think the league made the call like, hey, that was a forward pass.
Man, and now
That was still one of the worst calls I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's
ever,
even
like,
Brady
ever in history.
Even Brady, when Charles Woodson finally asked him on that one little special they did, he even said he said that shit was a fumble.
Yep.
And it's crazy too, because that was the Raiders' best team. That team was better than the Super Bowl team.
Those Raiders teams were good, man, with Rich Gannon and then the West Coast offense, man. Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, what was it, Natrone Means?
Yep.
No, they had Washington.
Tyrone Wheatley.
No, my bad.
Tyrone Wheatley, yeah.
Charlie Garner.
Yep.
Joey Porter.
Defense, they had Greg Beaker. They had a good ass.
Wasn't Romanowski or somebody like linebacker?
Romanowski
He'd come over.
Him and Greg Beaker was the linebacker.
Charles Woodson, like those teams were good.
They had two good corners. That safety was real good. Damn.
Then they get smoked by Brad Johnson and the Buccaneers.
That team should have won the Super Bowl. But the center ruined them that game.
Yeah.
Gruden knew all that.
Remember that dude bounced to Mexico the night before.
Yeah,
literally.
And had
what was his name? Barrett Robbins?
Barrett Robbins.
Yep.
Shit. Oh my God.
Talk about a drunken stupor.
The night before the Super Bowl too, dude.
And he was never the same after that Super Bowl either.
I don't think he ever played again.
Yeah, he didn't play again. Then he went on to have a long battle with mental health. I don't know if he's still alive, but I know he went down like a real bad road after that game.
I had some nights like that with Four Loko as a teenager. So.
Oh shit! All right,
Four Locos.
dude. They brought him back, dude. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It doesn't have the same shit in it.
Yeah,
but they had
okay.
But they took the caffeine out.
Yeah, it's like
it was like the taurine and shit that was in Red Bull.
Yeah, they got sued because of that shit.
Oh my God,
dude! I remember drinking Four Loko and Cisco. You guys remember drinking Cisco?
What the fuck is
liquid
that?
crack? Yeah,
only heroin addicts and crackheads drink that.
For real. Dude, actually, funny story. If you take 2 Four Locos and 2 40 ounces of Hurricane and mix them in a milk jug, it fits perfectly. There's no run over.
Like they were made for each other, I think.
It's like a match made in heaven.
There's AK's best bet right there.
That just made me think about that video. The dude drank the White Lightning.
Oh yeah.
Just go straight down.
And he
starts crawling.
Yeah.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure to download the Sharps app. Use it to track your bets. Become a better. Use promo code Jord517. Sharps app. We'll be back Sunday night breaking down these title games for sure. Everybody have a very great weekend. Enjoy Sunday. Enjoy all the basketball that's going to be on as well. For Aaron Kidd, you can follow him at Twitter at AKSports90. You can follow Irvin at SwervinIrvinTSP. Follow the podcast at Tapper_sports. Follow myself at Jordan Rules TSP. We'll see y'all later. Have a good weekend. Peace.
See you, boys.
Later. The king.